Kane Vision welcomes in John Barfeld, who is the head softball coach at the University of Tulsa. And coach, you finish up the season 36-18, 12-6 in your first year in the American, second place. But I know as far as the way you have raised the level of this program, you always want to get to the NCAA tournament. In that respect, you kind of fell a little short.
Right. You know, our goals are always to win that conference championship and then get to the NCAAs. And, you know, just came up, like you said, a little bit short. Lost 5 games in the last inning in conference. So that could change that 12-6 record real quick, but it is what it is, and we knew that going into the conference tournament we were going to have to win that, where our RPI was sitting with the strength of schedule. And so again, you know, last inning loss again, championship game, so that seemed to be a reoccurring theme a little bit too much this year.
And you're taking on a team that's ranked in the top 20, UCF, in the championship game, and it goes right down to the wire, 1-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Caitlin Sill was fabulous for you and just left one pitch up, and the young lady knocked it out of the park to basically end your season. But she was really good, wasn't she?
Right, yeah. You know, she was very good in that game. On the video, it even looked like it was outside off the plate, you know, but like you said, it was about waist high. And so, you know, that's what happens in those type of games. A lot of times somebody squares one up. You know, it's tough to put, you know, several hits together to mount a scoring threat. And that's what happened you know, with their team trying to score off Sill and our team trying to score off their pitcher.
Overall, though, a young team. So, you know, you have a lot coming back. You lose 3. Certainly, you have to feel pretty good about the progress your team made, huh?
Well, you know, we always, you know, have the same formula. You know, we want our seniors to step up and lead, and then you want our returning players to have growth, you know, from where they were the previous year. And then you want, you know, a few freshmen to step in. And that's exactly what happened this year. We had, you know, all 3 of those areas, we had those things happen.
And certainly early on, pitching seemed to be the trouble spot for you, but that got so much better at the end of the year, didn't it?
It did. You know, Caitlin's, all 3 pitchers really that were getting time there at the end, you know, they really finished strong, and you know, a couple of them just had standout finishes. You know, when you look at Bailey Irwin winning her last 10 games and having an under 1 ERA, you know, during that time. Caitlin Sill, same way. Last 15 appearances, you know, she just she didn't have the 1-loss record, but when you have a .97 ERA, you probably didn't. You got some losses that you probably didn't deserve, and that's kind of what happened with her there. But she's pitched fabulous. It's good to see, you know, those 2 pitchers finishing strong, and then our 3rd pitcher was Emily Watson, and you know, I didn't go back and look at, you know, how she finished strong, but as far as UConn, she threw a shutout in her last game, and so there's a lot to look forward to. But you know, also you have to give a big thank you out to Bailey because she just had a strong senior season.
I was going to say that she's one of the 3 seniors we're going to talk about, and Bailey ended up 18-3 on the mound in the ERA in the 2s, but as you said, she really finished very strong. It was really a great way for her as a transfer from Missouri to finish her career at TU, wasn't it?
Right. You know, and Bailey's only here 2 years, and she's showing up in the all-time record charts, you know, as far as top 10s all over the place. And so when somebody can do that after 2 years, you know that they've had an excellent 2-year career, and she certainly did. And a lot of leadership, too. You know, she did a lot of mentoring with our freshman pitcher especially. We had 2 freshman pitchers that she did a lot of talking with and trying to get them to understand a little bit more. And, you know, it's just, those are the type of things that you just don't see in stat sheets, but they're just invaluable when you have, you know, seniors that are going to mentor young players.
Your 4-year player of your seniors is Julie Kernan, and 59 RBIs, a new single-season record. And when the great hitters you've had, that's a pretty good accomplishment. She had a really good career for you.
Right, and you look at some of the other places where she finished in records, and she's behind, like you said, like the top 3 hitters that have ever come through here in Tulsa. So she had a great career, and you know, it's so gratifying as a coach when seniors have, you know, just a strong senior season. It kind of lets them go out in a great note, and Julie Kernan certainly did that.
And then Erica Sampson has finished her career, and again, somebody that's showing up on some lists for you, even though she did not have the full 4 years for you.
Right, and you know, she's the only player in Tulsa history to score more than 50 runs in both of her seasons. Right. No one. We've had players that have done it once, but she did it 2 consecutive years, and the only 2 years that she was here. So it shows you the type of player she was, and she was invaluable to us both last year and this year. just gave us an outstanding hitter that hit in the middle to the top of our order her whole career, and going to miss her as well.
I'm going to say you've had great hitting teams in the past, but this one over 300 runs, only the second time that's ever happened, and I think it was last year's team that actually had something like 380, but you were over 300, so this is the number 2 run-scoring team in your time here in TU softball history, so this was a good hitting team, wasn't it?
They really came on, and like I said, I talked about that growth. You had freshmen that step up, but more importantly, you had returning players that kind of really came through, and that's what caused that 300 runs. I mean, just you had some players that going into the season you weren't quite sure, and then when you turn around and at the end of the season you got all conference players out of them.
So what's it look like for the future now? You obviously have a lot of players coming back with only 3 who have graduated, and then as always you're replenishing with new recruits.
Right, and we had a big core class coming in. We actually have 7 players coming in right now. I should count that. We have 8 now that's coming in, and so there's going to be a lot of competition. It's going to raise our roster size to one of the largest that we've ever had here. A couple of years ago, we started a season out with 19, and I liked the way that we were able to scrimmage against ourselves so much. And so, we really invited some academic walk-on kids to kind of boost up our roster, and so that we can do a lot more scrimmaging against each other. So, we've got infielders, outfielders, we got a pitcher coming in, and so they're going to add to, the group that's coming back. And like I said, we always depend on that group coming back. Can they get better? Where's their ceiling? And hopefully we can develop those players to increase what they've been so far.
Well, and Coach, what do you expect out of the young ladies in the summer?
Well, in the summertime, basically they've all gotten their strength conditioning packet. We had a couple calls yesterday talking about that. We had a new strength and conditioning coach that came in January. He's really excited, Chad Kane. He's really excited to get the girls back here in great condition. And so we've got a couple of girls that are going to play. I know Shelby Estacado's got a chance to go to Cuba and play in a league against teams that are preparing for the Pan Am Games. And so she got hooked up with a team to go down there. I think maybe Lexi Blevins might be able to pitch a little bit down in California. But for the most part, this is their time to just kind of get ready for the season as far as going through getting stronger, quicker, faster, and more powerful.
All right, Coach, congratulations on a great year. Have a good summer. We'll look forward to seeing the team in the fall.
All right, thanks, Bruce.
Head coach John Barfeld, University of Tulsa softball.